Morning.
Good morning.
Are you Miss Stevens?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll be right with you. I need to put other people into the meeting and then I'll come back to you, okay?
Yes,
You're the
ma'am.
first person in, so we'll start with your cases, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll unmute you again at that time.
Okay.
God, my hair just going everywhere. I'm getting it all stuck in things. If you're just coming into the meeting, you will be muted until I unmute you. And I will take people, but you do need to connect to audio or I won't be able to unmute you. And if you're able to do visual, I'll ask you to do that at the time that I'm working with you. I'm going to take people in the order that I observe them come in. Let's see. Ms. Stevens,
Yes, ma'am.
good morning. If you
Good
can
morning.
stabilize your phone and not move it while I talk to you, that would help, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I did want to talk to you about the matters you have pending with the court. And
Yes,
I think we met before a while back when you were working on teen court, do you recall?
Yes, ma'am.
And that actually didn't work out, and we've got that still pending with a balance. So whatever we do today, we want to address that as well, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have a hold on the license? Do we have a financial form? Okay. So, Ms. Stevens, there are charges for September 27th, and there is one for turning right too widely. I believe there was an accident at that point. Is that correct? No, not on that
It was
one.
a different one. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I got him confused. On that one, if you recall, your options for pleading are guilty, not guilty, and no contest. Do you remember?
Yes, ma'am. I remember.
Guilty means I did this. No contest means I'm not going to say I did or didn't do it. I just want to move forward. And of course, not guilty means I'm contesting the charge. I don't agree. I'm wanting a trial.
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to a trial, and if everyone listens, then it will save you some time in a minute. Mr. Cook, if you're driving, please put the phone down and pull over because I'm actually going to take you shortly, okay? Looks like you might be, and I just don't want that issue for you. Someone else is driving. Okay, gotcha. All right, cool. Just safety first, of course. And so, Ms. Stevens, on the pleading options, if you plead guilty, you are saying I did this. If you're pleading not guilty, you're contesting. If you plead no contest, you're allowing me to move forward with sentencing without agreeing or disagreeing. Do you understand those options?
Yes, ma'am.
On the traffic charge of turning where wide, how are the fines and costs if you paid them today are $234. We do have other programs, and we'll be talking about that in connection with the theft charge as well. But how are you pleading to the charge?
Guilty.
Okay. Also, there is a charge of no driver's license, and the fines and costs are $181. How are you pleading this time?
Guilty.
And then there is a no insurance charge. It's $281. How are you pleading at this time?
Guilty.
We also have a new set of citations. There is a no driver's license charge from November 6th. The costs and fines there are $181. How are you pleading to that charge?
Guilty.
And then for no insurance, and again, the fines and costs, that's again for November 6th. The fines and costs are 281. How are you pleading to that charge?
Guilty.
Okay. So are you working at this time?
Yes, ma'am. I just recently got a job.
Okay. And how old are you?
I'm 17.
Are you still in high school?
Yes, ma'am. I'm a senior.
Okay. Where are you working, dear?
Right now, I work at KFC, Temple.
Okay, good. Um, so I did want to ask you, I don't have a financial affidavit for you. I'm gonna send you one to the email that we have on
Yes, ma'am.
file. I can take some other people and come back to you. Would you be able to print that and fill it out
Yes, ma'am.
while you wait a few minutes?
Oh, I don't have a printer.
You don't have a printer?
No, ma'am.
Okay, we can print it for you and have you come by and get it, and we'll reschedule you for just a couple of weeks so we
Mm-hmm.
can work on that together, because that's going to take a little bit of time. Okay.
Okay. Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
so I'm going to actually reschedule you for that, just to not have you sit here and answer every question verbally,
Yes, ma'am.
because that will take even more of your time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So are you available on the 1st of December?
Yes, ma'am. I'll be available.
Okay. When you come by today to pick up the form, you'll
Mm-hmm.
sign off on the reset form so that you don't go to a warrant. Okay.
Okay.
You're 17 and you're eligible for a warrant. So you need to make sure, like today, you show up on time and you tend to your court dates. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We'll reschedule you to come back in for that on the web, so that I have everything I need to work out a sentence with you. You might be eligible, for example, for some reductions and things like that. Okay.
Okay.
Or community service, depending on your financial status. You'll be
Yes.
under oath with that form, so give me as much information as you can. Feel free to add explanations if you need to. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Especially for something unusual that's not maybe normal. Sometimes that happens, like someone supporting something in their family that we don't know about unless you tell me. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Can you get by here before you head off to school?
Yes, ma'am. I do school at home, so like, whenever my mom gets off work, she can take me by there.
Okay. What time around?
She gets off at like 2, so anytime after that.
Okay. Try to hit it here before 4.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be there before 4.
Okay. All right, Ms. Well, sorry, Ms. Stevens. I keep wanting to call you Ms. Deja. Ms. Stevens, do you have any questions about what we're going to do next?
No, just to get the email and I come up there and fill the papers out.
Right. Actually, we're not going to email you since you're coming by today. Just come
Okay,
by.
okay.
Just come by and we'll get all of your papers in one spot and you can have a copy.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to remove you from the meeting since we're done. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm actually going to go to Mr. Golden next. And Mr. Golden, I'll unmute you in a moment. Let me see if you can get your video going. I did want to find out Galaxy Note 9. I can't connect and get you to unmute, but if you could type in who you are so that I know who you are today. You're not connected to audio, ma'am. Red blouse, gentleman there with you. Who has a case before the court? Are you just thumbs up if it's Mr. Hermosillo? I don't think that they can hear. Okay. There's someone else I'm letting in. The person who came in, um, Oh, okay. Y'all are trying to connect with a different device. You'll want to pick one device because what'll likely happen, or mute one, what will likely happen is you'll get a lot of reverberation. Okay, I'll be back with you shortly. I'll update Dave show a little bit. Mr. Golden?
Gooden?
Gooden, excuse me, Mr. Gooden, I misread. Mr. Gooden, are you able to do visual?
Yes, I can see you, Judge.
Yeah, but I can't see you, sir. So I'm asking you to do that, please.
So I'm not sure how to do this.
Oh, okay.
Is that, no, that changed you. I don't know what I did there.
Let's see. So I went ahead and sent a request for you to start audio, video. There you go.
Okay,
Hi,
there
Mr. Gooden. I do remember you now, sir. I know you by face, okay?
Praise God. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So, Mr. Gooden, I want to talk to you a little bit about your cases here. And just give me a moment to pull up your file,
Yes, ma'am.
printed out some things that will help.
Your Honor, I faxed some jail credit papers in a
Okay,
request this morning. I don't know if you got them.
I'm sure I did. Give me just one moment to pull that up. He says he faxed jail paperwork. When did you send that, Mr. Gooden?
At 8:47.
Okay, let me, someone's gonna run and look for that, okay? And I'll be more than okay taking that into account, okay? But first, I need to ask you a few questions. I have cases pending with the court, and okay, so I guess my question for you is, when were you in jail?
In 2019
Okay, where were you? Which jail?
in Travis County.
Travis County?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if you want to hold a moment, I'm gonna get a clerk to go look for that paperwork to bring it in for me to look at with you. I'm gonna
Yes,
mute
ma'am.
you and talk to someone else and come back, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir. Okay, moving to Mr. Cook for just a moment. Mr. Cook,
Yes, ma'am.
good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Judge Person.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir. I do have, these are older citations. Well, there's a new one for no insurance. And
Right.
we have pleas on all the cases with outstanding balances. And what I don't have that I do need to get from you is an updated financial affidavit so that I can take your situations into account. The older cases are for abusive language charge and assault by contact charge. I think the clerk's already discussed these with you, but just to review, the assault by contact has a balance of 265, the abusive language 230, and the financial responsibility, that's a no insurance charge, 281. Sorry. He paid the insurance case. Oh, okay. That one's been paid.
Right. I didn't know about this case until I paid that traffic ticket.
Right. You didn't know they were still pending.
Yeah, they're like
But
15
you certainly
years
knew
old.
you had them. Right. They don't go away when you neglect them. They just kind of sit
Oh, I didn't
there.
even know. I didn't know I had
So
them
I'm going to
either.
ask you not to interrupt me. We can talk back and forth.
Okay, sorry.
But if you're going to be rude to me, like you were the staff, I'll have to remove you and you can just have it sit there. But I really would rather get it resolved with you. But especially in the media situation, it can get really, really confusing if we talk over one another. Go ahead.
Okay, I didn't know about those. I never neglected them. I was told just yesterday about these that are 15 years old when I was 14. I'm almost 30 now.
Yes. Right.
Um,
So stop for a moment. You had a charge, and both of these, my predecessor actually went through these with you, Judge Eglin, okay? And I've got your signature on all of these with Judge Eglin. What he sentenced you to do was to go out to Miller Springs and work this off. That did not finish or get completed for whatever reason. The court never got notice of the completion. I know Miller Springs because I actually worked here at that time. And what they would do is send completion to us. And if we didn't get it, we would summon you to court to say, hey, we didn't get it. And they did send a note that said you were sick at one point, and it was okay for you to miss those days because they required consecutive days, but that they told you if you missed again, they would drop you from the program, which I believe they did do. What that meant, sir, is that you didn't finish your sentence with the court. And it doesn't then just go away. Like you don't go, well, I was sick, so I didn't have to do a court order. It just sits there until you come back and deal with it. And that's where we are. So you can either, figure out how you want to pay it, or I can in full, or I can review your finances and make adjustments there. I can reschedule you. I need to get a financial affidavit from you. Otherwise, I'm well within the court's rights to turn these into warrants and move forward with the cases.
Are these going on my juvenile record? Or now that it's 15 years later?
The convictions were entered long ago. The balances are what I'm trying to talk to you about.
Okay.
Judge Eglin entered those convictions at that time and sentenced you to work off the fines and costs through community service because you were a juvenile.
Right. Well, I
didn't do that part.
Okay. I talked to my mom, and she said she's never even knew
We never
about it.
sentenced your mom, and we have your signature on this paperwork.
Right. Well, they never notified me.
They did notify you. They notified you in the way that they can, which is to send mail to the address that you provided.
When I was younger,
I'm not going to debate these facts with you, sir. I am going to start considering whether I remove you. I'm well within my rights to just have you arrested for these and put an arrest out and hold your license renewal in through the states. You can either deal with me respectfully and honor reality, which I have here. We can certainly provide you with copies, but I'm not going to debate what this record says. I'm not, because it's a record and it controls over memory every single time. So you can get straight with me and work it out with me or not, and I will do the things that I can do. What's it going to be? Because other people are waiting and they really didn't log on today.
Right now I'm unemployed.
Yeah, so I can take that into consideration, but you have to fill out a form proving that to me. It's a sworn statement. Are you in the area?
I'm in Temple, yes.
Okay, swing by, fill it out. We'll schedule you for a hearing. We can talk about your financial situation.
Would I be able to come tomorrow?
Yes, but you need to be rescheduled today. So you need to somehow get us a signature. Can you print and sign and scan a document back to us? What's the problem with swinging by today to sign the paperwork?
Well, because I'm with a friend right now at his job helping out.
Yeah.
And I don't have a way to get back because technically I'm in Moody right now.
Yeah. So you're not in Temple.
Well, I live in Temple. I'm not currently in Temple right now. No.
Okay. Well, how quickly can you get over here? When do you get off work?
He doesn't usually get off till about 6 or 7 p.m.
So you go to work there, but you don't get paid?
No, I'm just here to help out. I don't come here all the time. This is just a one-time thing.
Mm-hmm.
They just needed an extra person to help out today.
Yeah. Well, I'm at a loss for how to help you, sir. You seem willing to show up and, try to tell us how it's going to be. But the reality is that you don't dictate that. Now, I'm willing to work with you, but you do have to show up and deal. If you get here in the morning, I might be able to hold this open, but I need a form. I need a form from you, which they tried to give you yesterday, but they weren't able to work with you. So you can come back and re-sign up for another hearing, and you can sign off on the paperwork and fill it out under oath. But if you're rude to my staff, I don't have any time for that. No one does, including the people waiting in this meeting for their turn. So get really clear about it, because I either need your signature today or tomorrow morning before 9 o'clock?
I'll be there in the morning.
Okay, and you will fill out the paperwork and sign off on the return visit, or I can just move forward
Yeah, I
without
can do
you.
that.
Yeah. We'll see you then.
All right, thank you.
Any questions?
You said before 9, correct? 9 a.m.
Before 9. We open at 8.
Okay.
Okay,
All right, thank you, ma'am.
bye-bye. I'm talking to Mr. Golden. Mr. Golden,
Yes, yes, ma'am.
thank you. They did bring that paperwork to me, sir. And so just give me a second to give a good look at it.
Yes,
If I'm
ma'am.
able to time serve you, I will.
Praise God. I hope so. I wrote a note on one of those papers. My wife died shortly
I'm
after all
sorry.
this stuff took place, and everything just crashed for me. So
I see your note. Yes, that's well, you phrased it well here on this note. Okay. Okay, so Mr. Golden, reviewing your paperwork from Travis County, I am able to time serve you. They don't
Praise
notice
God.
us. They don't give us notice when you're arrested. So I didn't know, but now that you've brought it to my attention and provided those forms, I can time serve you.
Praise God. Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. And I show even without that, you would have had a difficulty making payment. I would have worked with you on that. If you get another ticket ever in the city, just definitely, write me a letter or an email or get on one of these Zoom meetings and I'll work with you, okay?
Thank you so much. Your Honor, may I say something? I remember coming to court and hearing you deal with people.
Yes, sir.
And I love your heart, Your Honor. Just unofficially. Thank you so much.
Well, that means a great deal to me, sir. I appreciate that a lot. And I'm sorry you had a tough time with your wife. I can only imagine what that was like. I can tell that really has been a difficulty for you, and I'll keep you in my thoughts. Okay, sir?
Thank you. Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much.
Yes, sir. You hang in there and keep it up. Keep up the good fight, right? As they
Yes,
say.
ma'am. Absolutely.
Okay, we'll get that squared away. Just let me answer one more question. Is he-
Yes, ma'am.
So I have a hold on your license, and that's going to take about 5 days to clear with the state of Texas. And then
Okay.
they do tend to take their own time clearing you. Okay. Do you know how to check online to see if your license still has a hold?
I do not.
Okay. Do you have access to go on the internet and look things up?
Ma'am, I do. I do.
Okay. So, and we emailed you for this meeting. So we're going to I'm going to email you the website that you go to check your license on. And
Yes, ma'am.
have you ever driven and used an ID, a Texas ID?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you'll check your Texas ID and you'll check your Texas DL number if you had one.
I do.
And it'll be called the Texas failure to appear.
Okay.
And we'll email the link to that and give it a couple weeks and then start checking to see it clear. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And if there's, you might look at it now, because if there's any unfinished business, actually, I'm just going to do it for you. If there's any unfinished business that you have, you'll be able to address it, I'm actually going to look real quick and see if you have anything.
Well, I cleared up Travis County, I think, yesterday, and this should have been it.
Okay. Sir, what's your date of birth?
11/20/49.
Okay, it looks like you have Travis County and Temple and nothing else.
Yes, ma'am.
the Travis County, was there a failing to display a driver's license charge?
Yes, ma'am, same thing.
2014?
Yes, 2014.
Okay, then I'm gonna tell you that, I'm gonna email you that link, but you have addressed everything on there. I'm looking at it right now.
Mhm.
And what you'll be able to do is start seeing that, you know, they'll move from open cases on their website to
Right.
closed. I'd show you on your screen, but I think you're on a phone and it just would be too
I'm on the
tiny.
phone. Yes,
It would be too small for you to be really helpful, but we'll email it to you with the link and you can
ma'am.
look it up and clear yourself, okay? You're doing it exactly the way you need to do it, okay?
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Listen, sir, you take care, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Be blessed. Thank you.
All right. Blessings to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. I have to get some notes on this. Okay, Mr. Hermosillo, give me just a quick moment. I just have to do the paperwork on the last one. Do you mind sending him that link? Okay, can you also send him just that printout? Yes. Okay, that's really would be good because he's done with us. He doesn't need to come back in. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Hermosillo,
Yes, ma'am.
2 charges we have. These are November 5th, okay? And are you mom?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what is your name?
Emily Sanchez.
Okay, Miss Sanchez, thank you for being here.
Yes, ma'am.
I would tell you, or Mr. Hermosillo, the first one is a possession of tobacco by a minor. It has fines and costs if you paid them of $286. We have other options for that, which I will discuss with you if we move into sentencing. But first, I would ask, you probably heard, but I still want to review with you. When you enter a plea in a court like this one, your options are guilty, not guilty, and no contest, okay? Guilty, you're saying I did this. Not guilty, I'm contesting this. No contest, I'm not going to say yes or no, just let's move forward, okay? If you plead guilty or no contest, we move into sentencing, okay? If you plead no contest, not guilty, then we move into like we're heading to trial, okay? Because you have the right to have a jury hear your case, make a decision as to whether or not you're guilty. If you move forward with guilty or no contest, you're waiving that right and moving forward, okay? Now, if we do move forward with your age, we're looking at community service and teen court. Sometimes those are combined, okay? And teen court right now is not meeting live. We're moving in the direction of sentencing with a case manager, and we have that as an option. So I would, first ask you on the tobacco. Well, first I would ask you, do you understand those options for pleading guilty, not guilty, and no contest?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have any questions about that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And then the next question I have is on the tobacco charge. How are you pleading?
Guilty.
Okay. And then there is a charge for possession of drug paraphernalia. The fines and costs are $286. How are you pleading to that charge?
Guilty.
Okay. Do we know what it was? I have some additional paperwork. I don't know if they gave it to you yet for you to sign off on because you're a
Yes.
juvenile. There's paperwork we need to do. Did they provide that to you yet?
Yes, ma'am. Where we sign
Yes, exactly.
everything. Yes, we have them in front of us.
Okay, so the first one I'm going to have you look at, and they really are the same for each case. They just are, they've got different case numbers, okay? The first
Okay.
one has a number 1 at the bottom, okay?
Yes.
And So Frank, if you'll look down at that with mom, that's your magistrate warnings. It tells you what you're charged with. We've already kind of been over this. You have the right to hire an attorney to represent you. In municipal courts, we don't court appoint attorneys, but we can give you time if you decide you want to move back on your plea and go meet with somebody. But once you sign this, your plea is going to, I'm going to accept your plea and we'll move forward. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to terminate any interview with a police officer and ask for a parent and or an attorney. And you have the right to stop any interview or questioning at any time with law enforcement or police officers or anyone representing the state. Okay. And you just need to know that. And then you sign where it says defendant. And next to that, mom, I'd ask you just to sign too. And I'm going to want to get these papers from you either by email, fax, or to swing by and drop them off. Okay.
Okay,
The next form, and you do that on both cases. So there's actually 2 of those. Okay.
okay.
Right. And then page 2, that page is going to really just tell you there is a duty to keep your address current at all times until you are no longer, have something pending in front of the court. And you're required to keep us abreast of your address until you're done. Now, done here means a dismissal or a 0 balance, whichever is appropriate for your case, right? And if you sign at the top, you're just confirming that 3914 Lark Trail is your address, okay?
Okay.
And you'll check the box and say that's correct. The next box is it's not correct, and you tell me your correct address, okay? And mom signs and you sign, and we'll need to get both of those back on each case. And so if your address changes, you have to change it with us. It's not uncommon for people to believe that an address change happens somehow and that we magically all get noticed, but we don't. Different courts, when you do your address with the state for your license, we don't get that information. So you've got to keep it up to date. And the second one tells you there's an ongoing duty to tell us that and make sure we know. And it tells you that you don't time out of that when you turn 17. I think you saw that young man a few moments ago, and he was very confused because he thought that, we had to catch him, we had to catch him and catch up with him and make him deal with it. And that's not actually the duty that you have. The duty you have is to make sure that you stay up with it. Okay. And if you know that up front, it really can help you understand why it's important to finish out your case, get that 0 balance or dismissal, and be done with it.
Okay.
You're a juvenile, so these won't reflect in your record in quite the same way, but they still are your obligation, and your signature there tells me you understand that. Okay, do you have any questions about that?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
We don't sign that. Right?
Yeah, that one you signed to, number 3.
Oh,
Yeah, it's at the,
Oh,
there you go.
okay.
And then when we get to 4, it's kind of similar. It just says if you blow it off, basically, like the gentleman you saw earlier, clearly you understood it doesn't go away, right? It's just a contempt of court charge. And I have the right to file contempt charges for an incomplete court order, right? And so I tell you orally, but I get your signature because I really need you to understand it. And that way you have a copy of that to keep with you, okay? So you're going to sign that too. And then the last 2 pages, I know it's a lot. The last 2 pages, 5 and 6, those are actually the most important thing, but it's a long 2 pages of legal terminology. So let me cut to the chase for you and tell you that all this really tells you is that when you're under 17 and you get a conviction, if you apply to the court where you received the conviction, you can ask that the case be removed from your record as long as you don't reoffend. Okay. And tobacco charge is dealt with one way. With a tobacco charge, you can have it removed as soon as you complete your court obligation. With the other charge, the drug paraphernalia charge, that one is when you turn 17. As long as you don't have as long as you've completed the case, okay? Then you can come and say, hey, please remove that from my record, because it can impact your ability to get work, to get jobs.
Mhm.
Like, let's say you wanted to, for example, be a pharmacist. They're not going to license somebody who has a drug paraphernalia charge. But you have a second shot at that because you're underage.
Okay.
And we give you another chance, okay? So
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
kind of why we do that. That's kind of what that means. That's why that's all in place. And it's why you have to read all that stuff and sign off on it so that you know how to help yourself if you need to help yourself, okay? In the future when it becomes important. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
So
Okay.
what would he,
So
What
now
would
we're
you-
going on the paraphernalia charge. I don't think I wrote your plea down. How are you pleading to that charge?
Oh, guilty.
Okay, so we're going to look at teen court, okay? And teen court is right now not live. We're doing it as a sentence directly with the judge and the case manager. And normally we're definitely going to ask you to do, I need to ask you, what's the drug involved? What are we talking about?
What are we talking about?
Yeah. You were charged with drug paraphernalia. If I test you today, what am I going to pull up?
oh, what's your drug?
Oh, negative.
No,
For
what's
what?
your drug that you were using? If she
Oh,
was a drug dealer.
tobacco.
Tobacco.
Yes, ma'am.
But the drug paraphernalia charge,
On
what were
this
you
one,
using there?
what do you use in the pipe?
Oh, a pipe.
Yeah,
Tobacco.
just tobacco.
Yes, ma'am.
So you had a tobacco product. You had loose leaf?
Loose leaf.
What? No, loose leaf.
What's that?
Tobacco. Just,
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
did you have a cigarette? What did you have?
Oh, yes, a
Come on,
cigarette.
tell me what happened.
Oh, I had
I mean, I
cigarette.
can reset and dig and get an officer to come testify, but that's going to take a lot of your time. Why don't you just tell me?
I had cigarillos.
Okay.
How did you use a pipe to smoke?
Oh, I
You got
used the pipe.
cigarillos in a pipe? Huh?
Yes.
How's that work?
Oh, are you asking what I smoke?
Well, I know what a cigarillo is, and you don't need a pipe for it.
Oh, no, ma'am.
So what's the
But
pipe for? Mom,
Weed.
let me just ask him because sometimes what's happening is he doesn't want to tell me because you're sitting there. But mom can drug test you too. Do we
Yes,
need to
ma'am.
go that far, or are you going to be honest?
No, ma'am. I was smoking weed.
Okay, honest answer. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
all right, that helps. I mean, why lie about it? Here we are.
Mhm.
You know, I'm trying to figure out if I need to be giving you a meth class. So I just need to know what's going on.
Yes.
Okay. So I have a case manager sitting here. Give me just a moment. It's Miss Gonzalez. She's at the bottom of your screen. Oh, there's a bag. Okay. We're all okay. So they found in the car, there was a bag of marijuana in the back seat. There was a scale, a grinder, and cigarillos. What's the scale for?
The scale was in there when we had got the car. I forgot to throw it out.
Would you
We
throw it
recently,
out?
I just bought that car and we hadn't really been cleaned it out or anything. I got it off of Facebook.
Mhm.
But yeah, he said that was it was in there. It was broke or something, and he was gonna throw it away and clean the car out and never did.
Sorry, I'm not really buying that. What I'm worried about, okay, is that you're selling and then you're going to be interacting with some people that are rough.
No.
Okay, because, you know, we just had a big arrest for people shooting people in town over different things, not, you know, just over a lot of different types of drugs that they were selling. And that's a rough crowd, you know. That's my concern. Mom, are you worried about it?
Yeah.
Okay, what else is going on at home?
What else is going on?
Right, how is he?
He's a good kid. Other than that, I mean, I know that he told me that he's, you know, when they found that they found weed, and you know, he was honest with me.
Yeah,
And
that's
this is
good.
his
And the body
first
language
time.
is that y'all get along, so.
Yeah, and I told him, well, you know, there's going to be consequences to it, and you're going to go to court. You know, this is his first time in trouble, and
We
you
want it
know,
to be
and
the last.
yes, first and last. And that's what I told him. You know, that he doesn't need to be doing that. And yeah, people get shot over a dime sack. I mean, stupid things.
Stupid
You know,
things.
it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's a lot about the crowd you're with. How about your friends?
He doesn't really. He plays football, and he has about, you know, one friend that he really hangs out with, not too many.
Mhm.
He doesn't hang out with the crowd.
Question, what school do you go to, Mr. Hermosillo?
Temple High,
And what grade are you in?
the 10th.
10th.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you play football?
Yes, ma'am.
What position?
Quarterback.
Okay. You don't want me to call your coach about this, right?
No, ma'am.
Right. He wouldn't let you play. I don't care how good you are. Okay. So one thing is that you can't get in any more trouble. Okay, because I have a good memory. And the other is you need to do your teen court sentence. And we do need to collect $20 per case. And that would be $40 total. Is it possible to do that today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the balance, right? Mhm.
I can drop these papers off and go do that.
You'll need to bring him with you because he'll need to sign off.
Yeah. Okay.
Right now, your balance is 572. I'm looking at having you work that off through teen court. Okay. So we would definitely need we do need a tobacco class. Learning the dangers of tobacco now would be a good idea because it's a long, far reaching one. You know, I know people, I'm close to people who've died from tobacco smoke. Okay. It doesn't kill you overnight, so it's a bit deceptive and you think it's harmless. But ultimately, it leads to a lot of different diseases and compromises your system. So I want you to get some knowledge about that. I firmly believe that if you understand something, you have a much better chance at working on the problem and solving it. Do you feel like you're addicted to tobacco at this time?
No, ma'am.
Nicotine is the addictive part of tobacco, for sure. And it's a hard one to quit. It really is. So we'll do a tobacco class. I do want to get recent report card. Okay. Most recent report card. I think I've got one coming up here pretty soon.
Yes, ma'am.
And you need to stay in school. Okay. Keep your attendance up. And then the possession of paraphernalia charge. Give me just one moment to talk with the case manager. I'm tempted to go away from just the marijuana to something that is more encompassing due to the fact that there's scales and actual controlled substance in the vehicle. Do we have a general class? Like, I don't think he needs a life skills class. He's completely appropriate right now.
So they have, this one's an adult development education program,
Okay.
and this one's in person.
Shoot, I'm reluctant to do it in person right now. What else? You
Or
would
they
say?
have online with your sessions.
Okay. So just because there was scales and there was actual controlled substance in the vehicle, along with the pipe, okay? I think what we want to do, there's another class for that one. It is a 12-hour just general drug offenses class. And when we're talking about not being back in court again, I think that's what I'm going to ask you to do.
Yes.
What are your thoughts? What do you think?
No, I'm okay with it.
Okay. So you'll have to pay for the class. We don't make money on the class. It's a nonprofit thing, okay, for us. There's 2 classes. I think they both run under $50. Let me double check that statement. I think, yeah, I think the 12-hour class is going to be a $60 class. The tobacco class should be 40, right?
The online, I mean, the in-person, that one is.
Is there an online tobacco?
Yes, there is. An online.
Court Solutions?
Yes.
Is it 40? It may be. I think your tobacco class is going to run you 50. The drug class 60. Your parents are going to be asked to help you get that done unless you have a job. Do you have a job?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So, Mom, are y'all able to help with these 2 classes?
Yeah, where would he take these classes at?
They're online.
Oh, online?
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. You'll send us links or something?
It'll be all in your paperwork.
Okay.
And I'll want to get one of them in 30 days and one in 60 days. That way it can spread out for y'all, both
Okay.
time and money. And that way we wouldn't owe the 572. Now you could just pay that, but I don't think he would learn. And you know, that's a lot more. $40 here and about 110 online at 2 separate times. You know, however, if he doesn't finish and we sentence, then it's 572 at that point. So, you know, what I'm going to say, Mr. Hermosillo, is if you don't want to do it this way and your parents are willing to pay out that 572, don't waste your time or mine.
Yes,
But if you're
ma'am.
willing to get it done, you're going to save about $400. And my experience is I'm not going to keep seeing you.
Yes, ma'am.
When he finishes, is there something that he needs to mail to you?
Yeah, we need certificates of completion by the due dates. They're going to be on
Okay.
your paperwork. One first due date is going to be December 17th for tobacco. And the second one is January 19th for the drug offense, the drug related offense. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Hermosillo, it's not Mom's job to make sure you get this done. It's your job to make sure you get this done. If she decides you have chores at home to work off this money, you do it, right? If you've got consequences at home, you do it, because she may condition her help on this with you complying at home with her rules. And that's completely appropriate, okay? Because she's your mom. She gets to do that, okay? For me, I need proofs of certificate of completion on both of those on time. And at the end, I dismiss both tickets, no conviction on your record, and I waive the money. Are we on board all together?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mom, you good with this?
Yes. And what about, what's teen court? You said he
That's
has
what
to
we're
do
doing
that?
right now. It's an
Oh,
alternative,
okay.
right? It's an alternative
Oh.
sentencing option. And we
Okay.
normally have it live, but right now we're not being allowed to access the school at this time, just because of circumstances out in the community. And so,
Okay.
you know, we don't want to deny teen court to people. So we're just doing it directly with the judge. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So y'all are going to come by when? Before noon?
Here, after we're done here. Yes.
Okay. We're going to have all your paperwork at the front. And when you get here, you just call and we badge you in. Okay.
Okay.
You'll be required to answer COVID questions and get a fever check and wear a mask. Come prepared for that. You won't be in the lobby very long though. We'll minimize how long you have to deal with that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Any questions?
No?
Okay, thank you. I'll just remove y'all from the meeting, okay?
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Mr. Afega, hi.
Hi.
You remember me? I think
No.
we met before. No?
I don't think
Maybe I've
so.
just, I think I've just seen your picture. We have your photograph. I received your deferred request, okay?
Mhm.
And your deferred request is accepted. I'm trying to see if we have I don't think we have a financial affidavit from you.
I do remember signing
Yeah.
on one.
Yeah, you did. You signed up requesting one. For some reason, I'm not seeing a financial affidavit, but I'm going to check, okay? Give me just one moment to catch up with you.
And I am currently unemployed. So
And that's something I can completely work with you on,
mhm.
but I need to have a document proving it.
All right.
So I'm just seeing if I have a document where I don't have to reschedule you to get a document. Oh, there we go. We do have one. Okay, circumstances haven't changed since you filled out that form telling me you currently don't have income, right? It kind of looks like this. You remember this one?
Nothing. Yeah, nothing's changed.
Okay. Any children? You live with family?
Yeah.
Okay. How long since you worked?
How long was that? I think you were working last month. Like last month, I believe.
Okay. Was that like a job, permanent job or a temporary job? What was going on?
I was working at McDonald's at the time.
Okay. What happened there?
I ended up not being able to call, so I was a no call, no show, and they terminated me.
Okay. Okay. Just communication breakdown.
Mhm.
So I'm going to order that you work 15 hours to work off your fines and costs. You're going to have to sign off on the deferred today, which will be 120 days, ticket free, no arrests, keep your address current, and 15 hours of community service instead of making payment.
All right.
Okay. And how old are you?
17.
Oh, I'm sorry. Where do you go to school?
I go to Edwards Academy. It's like right next
That's
to
right.
Temple.
You know, the last time I did Edwards Academy, I now remember you were going to do the theft intervention class, and then
Mhm.
you don't have the ability to pay for that class right now, right? Now I remember. I'm sorry. So yeah, so I still want to give you the option to keep this stuff off your off your record. The last time I worked and reached out with Edwards, they actually were allowing young people to do their community service at the school.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's still the case, but you might talk to your individual principal, the one you work with over there. Who's the principal over there right now?
Miss Mitchell.
Mitchell.
She's
Okay.
new.
I do know who she is. I haven't talked to her about this, but you might check in and see. I'll want that by January 19th.
Mm-hmm.
That should give you plenty of time. When you swing by to sign off your deferred, you'll get a copy. you have any questions, ask a clerk. If they can't help you, they can schedule you to meet with me. With Ms. Mitchell, you can see if she'll let you do it there. If not, there'll be a list of
Mhm.
places in your packet where you can do the community service. Your community service provider has to be a nonprofit or the school. The supervisor has to be authorized by that school or that entity to sign off.
Mhm.
And I have a list of places with the contact point there. And that person who's authorized will sign off on each day you do hours, and you sign off on it too. And then at the end, you sign off to certify that, you're turning it in. Okay.
Okay.
And I'll need that to document those hours. Okay.
Okay.
But we do that instead of payment if you don't have income, like in this case. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
But you'll still have the deferred, just you can't re-offend and get your hours in on time. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Can you come by today to do the final signatures?
Yes.
Okay. What time do you expect to be here?
Within like the next 2 hours.
Within the next 2 hours.
Perfect. And I think you probably heard me tell other people, just come prepared with a face covering, expect to COVID in basically like you do at the hospital. And
Mhm.
you won't be in here probably more than 10 or 15 minutes. Okay.
All right.
All right. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. This will keep it from being a conviction. You are under 18, but you're considered an adult because you're 17. Therefore, the deferred is your way to keep your record more manageable. Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay.
All is here, and I'm sure if you want to